Hello, my name's Annette Becker, and I'm the director of the Texas Fashion Collection at the University of North Texas's College of Visual Arts and Design. I'm joining you today to share a little bit of information about the Wandering Wardrobe, a project that we have in collaboration with the Onsted Institute, also part of UNT. The Wandering Wardrobe is a set of artifacts that we've specially put together that can leave our archive space and go into a classroom space for study. An exciting part of this collection is that it kind of brings things out of this very special, carefully controlled space into an environment where you all can actually interact with these. While we understand that these pieces will be outside of our archive, we want to make sure that you understand how to care for these things so that lots of people can appreciate them and enjoy them and keep them in good condition. So today I'm going to be sharing a few tips and tricks for how to keep everything safe while you're handling Wandering Wardrobe artifacts. One of the first things you'll want to think about is making sure that when you handle pieces that they're protected by you wearing gloves. If you go into the Wandering Wardrobe materials that came with the artifact that you checked out, you should be able to find these nitrile gloves that are used in most archives today. These come in multiple sizes, so you'll want to make sure to find the ones that fit your hands best, which means that they're pretty tight to your fingers so that you can safely grab onto things, but you can still feel what you're doing. Once you have these gloves on, anything that's on your hand, maybe snacks or lunch that you ate or art supplies, the artifacts will be protected by you wearing these gloves. So remember that anyone touching the artifacts will want to wear them. Another thing to think about while you're handling these artifacts is that they each come in boxes that are specially selected so that we can really keep the pieces safe and stable inside of them. Part of the work that we're excited for you to do in helping keep these pieces safe is making sure when you handle the boxes, you keep them as stable, safe, and flat as possible. Sometimes there are bigger boxes that might require two people if the people carrying them have kind of shorter arms, so you might want to think about that in advance. These boxes are made out of special archival quality materials. So while they might look like cardboard boxes that you've seen in your everyday life, these are special acid-free boxes that we buy from a special place that help keep the artifacts safe. This is a really exciting part of the work that we do in the Texas Fashion Collection and trying to make sure that all the steps that we take will make sure that things that are around today can be around in the future for people to work with. In our archival space, when people come to do research, we have to think really carefully about keeping our artifacts safe and think about what materials might be around them. So in this space, we don't allow food or beverage, so you might want to eat your snacks or take a drink in another space if you have the Wandering Wardrobe artifacts out. It's also really important that if people are taking notes or making sketches, that they use materials that won't damage the Wandering Wardrobe pieces, which means when people come into our space, we encourage them to use pencils to take notes, and if they're going to use another material like markers or pens, that they're at least 6 feet away from the artifacts. So when you're working with these pieces, it's really exciting to get really close and look carefully. You might point to help some of your classmates see things that are different or exciting. But remember that you don't want to point with anything sharp, and that if you're making marks on something, that if it's a permanent mark, like with a pen or a marker, that you're doing that a safe distance away. Part of keeping the Wandering Wardrobe artifacts safe is thinking about what materials might be around them. In an archive, what we allow is a pencil and paper, because pencils don't leave permanent marks, and we know that people like to take notes and make sketches. However, we don't allow materials that might do permanent damage to our artifacts, which might include markers and pens that'll leave permanent marks, scissors that might make holes in pieces, and we also don't allow food and beverage around our artifacts. That's really important because we don't want food crumbs or liquid to get on the artifacts and damage them. And also the little bugs that like eating food and liquids really enjoy eating textiles. So we have to make sure that those are kept separate from the Wandering Wardrobe artifacts. We want to thank you for the work that you're doing to help keep our artifacts safe. It's really important that we all follow these guidelines to make sure that people in your classroom can enjoy these artifacts and make sure that people in the future who borrow them can really enjoy them in the same way. So thank you for watching this video, and thank you for extending the work that our archive does.